Hi,
Hi.
Kyle and Rebecca with lunchtime chat.
We're back.
We're back. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
And we
sick
are,
and
yeah.
stuff.
I have no makeup on and I don't care. I feel like being really authentic right now. That feels really important. And we were just having a conversation about that and about allowing ourselves to go through what comes up and go through the phases that happen without judgment and without making ourselves wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were just discussing.
Yeah, like, oh man, there's a lot of good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just to kind of create some general context, we're both like circumstantially going through a lot of stuff in life right now, and I think from the outside looking in, it wouldn't necessarily occur that way for other people.
Right.
Like, oh, my life probably from the outside looking in seems pretty chill and I'm
Charmed,
happy.
awesome.
And, yeah, like everything's great, and I create that, so yes, it's not like that's untrue.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if someone else were in our shoes, it wouldn't necessarily be that way because there's a lot of really intense circumstances and things, and we're actively choosing to have an outlook on our situations that is empowering and positive and represents who we're committed to being. And then there's the moments where we don't.
I was going to say, I definitely have not failed at that recently. Pretty well. I'm not going to use the word failed. I did not do that. I have not been doing that for the last few weeks. And just to speak to the idea that from the outside, I'm getting married in 3.5 weeks. That's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah. And this has been some of the toughest, the last couple months have been some of the toughest I've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like everything that could possibly come up, everything that could confront me and trigger me, and none of it has to do with getting married specifically. Just life has been handing me like one plate of dookie after another and going, hey, how's that taste?
Yeah.
And all joking aside, like for me, I feel so much better today saying this, but like I've really been making myself wrong for all the feelings that I've been having and for being in pain, because I've been in a tremendous amount of pain, and there's been things that have happened that have nothing to do with the wedding, but that have activated old trauma and that have caused me just some really difficult days and nights. And I finally feel like I'm sailing into the joy of this wedding, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's been really hard, and what I notice today, in this beautiful day, and I'm able to see more clearly and feel a bit more settled, is that I really I've been experiencing it, but I've also been relentless with myself about that I shouldn't be feeling all the things I'm feeling, that I'm supposed to be happy, that I'm not supposed to be sad or challenged, and the truth is there's room for all of that, and I think the only way through that is to allow it. And then the piece that we also talked about was what I think really helped lift me was that this weekend was a lot of it was about other people, and not about myself, because what I was doing is experiencing most of it in isolation, and trying to manage it in a bubble. And then this weekend I got out of that bubble and went out into the world and connected with other people and did for other people, and I think that broke that wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, in yoga, we call it seva, sacred service. It's selfless sacred service. So you just do something for someone else without any consideration for yourself. Like, oh, this is going to do this for me, or this is going to do that for me, or, whatever. You show up for someone else, and you get your life out of that. And I think what you're talking about is the perfect example of how that occurs, because when we do something in service to someone else, we disappear. Like the worries that we have for what's going on in our life, or the thought processes that we subject ourselves to, or the feelings and the concerns, and all of that disappears because we relocate ourselves over there with whoever, whatever it is we're serving. And there's so much relief in that. And I think it's also like, it's invigorating because you get reconnected to the difference that you make in life. And I think that's one of the most important things to be connected to. If you're committed to living a powerful life, if you're not committed to living a powerful life, then,
do what you want.
Do whatever you want. But if you want to live a powerful life, then it's important to know yourself for the contribution that you are in life and around other people. And like what other people are getting when they're around you, right? And I think that like shame cycle that we get into, because so for people who want to live powerful lives, right, we have this like, okay, well that, we have this idea of what that means. He's like, I'm always positive, and I'm like always excited and enthusiastic and inspiring, and people around me, they're smiling and everyone's happy, and it's this
such bullshit,
right? Yeah, because if you're having a bad day, then wouldn't it be authentic to be real about that? And, like, I'm a human being, too. Just because I have all of these tools doesn't mean that sometimes I don't struggle or deal with something, We all deal with something. Maybe for some of us, we get out of it a lot faster than other people, and that's amazing. But you can't really share the power of your ability to move through something without being willing to share the challenge that it is, so that other people can relate to the fact that you are, in fact, a human being who deals with stuff.
Yeah. And there is no, like, the thing I say to myself, and I've said to actually someone recently who's going through something, and, we have a tendency to, and I did this last week when I was just in this really deep, dark place. I don't want to be here. But the thing that I remind myself of, and I did in that moment, and I do with others, is there is no out, only through.
Yeah.
You can't dodge around a really shitty circumstance. You can't, you can't hide away. And it's not that people who want to live an empowered life don't go through shit. They do. We do. I do. It's that you have to be willing to be authentic and vulnerable and go through it, willing to allow it, and also be committed to believing that it is temporary, and believing that ultimately there is, like I said to someone the other night, like, I'm looking for the gold in all of this.
Yeah.
And in some moments there is no gold. I mean, it can be all shit, but, my willingness and my commitment to say, I know, even though I can't see it, I know that somewhere on the other side of this, there's learning for me. I know there's growth. I know there is, and the reason I know it is because I've experienced it in my life, and so it's something I really believe. And so even when I'm in the darkest moments, it's funny to say it because, like, I can remember a conversation only a few days ago. I was like, about a particular thing, and I said, I can't see past this.
Yeah. And
I really couldn't, but I knew that was also temporary.
Yeah.
I knew my vision would clear, and it has. And it's such an interesting thing because I had been choosing, other than with you and like very few other people, to talk about what was going on for me, because I did feel shame about it, and I did feel a heightened vulnerability, and in the last couple of days I've really been thinking about, like, I want to share that, and the reason I want to share it is I was at choir yesterday, and I sing for a choir, and it's a community I love, and I felt from across the room a woman that I love who is the most buoyant, joyful. She's just delicious. Her joy is just delicious and infectious, and she was not joyful. Something really heavy was going on, and I could see that she was over there alone in it and separate, and she wasn't connected to the songs, and she wasn't connected to the room. And we took a break, and I walked over and I said, I feel your heart, and I don't know what's going on. I don't need to know, but I just want you to know I love you, I'm loving you, and that you don't have to do this by yourself. And she teared up and she hugged me and she said, "That's exactly what I needed." And it was so beautiful. And I forget that I can do that for myself. I can do that for myself and for other people. And just doing that for her in that moment was one of the things that I think helped me to lift out of my own, because it was no longer the I was gone. I was seeing her and seeing her heart. And it's really, really lovely, lovely moment. And I'm grateful for that. And it reminds me that, vulnerability it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it's what makes us human. And, my vulnerable truth is I'm actually having a hard time receiving the wonderful things that my life is offering me. Now, I just said I've been going through a lot of stuff. It's been giving me a lot of crap too. But I just mean the bigness of what I've called in, what I'm creating, and now this marriage, it's so good. I think there's some old stuff in me that's been like, "Oh, that's scary. You're getting everything you wanted."
Mm-hmm.
I just, to even admitting that makes me feel really vulnerable. But I think that's my truth, is that there's a part of me that's been a little freaked out by, fuck, can you be with how great this is? And, do you really get to have this? And saying that now on camera and to you is part of my vulnerability, because it's just an interesting conversation I've been in with myself about how all this feels, and I think it's, we want everybody to be like, "Oh, you're getting married, woo, and flowers and cake and champagne and honeymoon, and it's all awesome." And it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's huge. And it's an opportunity, and I'm grateful. I say that with a frown. I'm grateful for how much this has shown me about myself, and how much this has allowed me to process.
Yeah.
And still is. And I think that will be happening all the way through this. And it's good. It's good stuff.
I relate so much to, I could have said everything that you're saying, minus that, I'm not getting married. It's, kind of the opposite. And all of these things which I'm not going to detail out in this video, but all the things that have been happening in my life, and these moments of why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
How can I be in this place? And and then there's surrender is something that I got a lot out of what you were saying.
Yeah. That is a word I've used recently.
I surrender.
Allowing. Yeah.
Allowing. Being willing. That's been my mantra. I'm willing to go through this, even though I have no idea where it's going, where it's going to land.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea. And then a lot of the time, in the past, when I'm doing spiritual work and whatnot, and I come through some kind of challenge, my experience would be that I would gain a lesson for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always true to an extent. But this time, it was a little different. I experienced that the lesson I gained was to be given to someone else. And that was my lesson. That's where the lesson was for me, was to share this process that I have been through over this happening that has occurred. And I encountered another person going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had dealt with my situation in a way that expressed my commitment to being unconditionally loving and forgiving and all of this. And I dealt with it from inside of that commitment. No matter how hard it was, I was committed that no matter what happened, and I am in life, no matter what happens, I am unconditional love. I am standing for peace and harmony and love in the world. And now I get to do that here in a place where I really would rather pull out the red lightsaber and just, go to town. And, that was really powerful. And I had personal discoveries about, I discovered myself as someone I hadn't known myself to be before. But where I really got really just got this sense of, like, gratitude for the whole thing. Just something that Byron Katie says that I love is, like, you're not really complete with something until you, in the memory of it, experience gratitude.
Yeah, that's
like,
absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, especially the hardest, toughest, darkest stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when you get there, you know you've healed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I got there with this situation because I came upon this woman who was dealing with the exact same circumstance and wanting to get complete with the people involved in it.
Isn't that interesting how the universe gave you that opportunity? Just like mine with the girl at choir. I was looking at her and I'm like, that's been me for the last 3 weeks. Yes. There I sit over there. And all I need is someone to see me. And that's all she needed was for someone to go, hey, I know exactly what you're going through.
And you can do it. And you can be, because she was also like, she's like, I am so committed to, like, unconditional love and, like, collective consciousness and this whole thing. And there's this one person who isn't in that picture for me. You know, and she's like, and I know that doesn't work. It's like, that's not what I believe and what I'm committed to, and I'm really struggling with that. And I was able to share with her what I have dealt with, what I have gone through, and, like, her life came together. And it was just like,
just by being witnessed.
It's like, thank you. Okay. All right. Yes, I am.
Because you had to leave your house to do that. And, you know, I had to leave my house to do that. And the thing that I said a few days ago when I was in this I was still in it. I was really in it. Hadn't gotten off of it or out of it. And a friend said, what is it that you need? And I said, I think in this moment, I really know that what I need is to be heard and seen and understood. I don't need anybody to fix it. I don't need anybody to rescue me.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go through this. Like, I've used that phrase too. Like, I'm willing to go through anything if I know that my growth is on the other side of it. Yeah. No matter how painful it is. It's something that my life has proven to be like that works. And I just said, I want to be seen and heard and understood. And I noticed that within a couple of days of that, I felt that I received that from a few people, and that was what I needed. And then that's what I was able to give to this girl, and that's what you were able to give her. It's just like witness, understand, acknowledge. It's mostly what we all ever need. Yeah. You know, we don't necessarily need to have someone tell us what to do, how to fix it, because there's no fixing certain things. You just have to go through it. That's life. But sharing. Just being, sharing it, being seen, heard, understood, acknowledged, witnessed. You know, that's a big word for me. Yeah. It's validating and it's connecting and it's like, oh, I'm human, you're human. Wow, okay, because we can get into these things where we think we're the only person going through it. Yeah. We can look outside and see everyone seems to be doing so well, and I'm over here like having a meltdown. It's not true. Yeah. You know, that quote of everyone's fighting a tough battle, be kind. I mean, the point is you don't know what anybody's going through at any given moment. Yeah. And you don't know where people have been. Yeah. You know, it's funny, and this is a little not on the topic necessarily, but I was having a conversation recently with someone about how, you know, when you look at someone where they, and no, we talked about this early on kind of, but when you look at someone and where they are in their life and you go, wow, they have it so easy. God, their life is so charmed. I mean, I've actually had someone say something similar to me, you know, in the last few months, and I just laughed, because I'm like, you don't know me. There is no lotus without mud, honey, and I've got all the mud. But it's just an interesting thing to think about, like, and take that out into the world. You know, every single human that you encounter, you have no idea the shit they've seen, or what they've overcome, or not, or what they're carrying. You know, what the gravity of the load that they're carrying, because they haven't done transformational work. Yeah. So it's a good reminder, you know, about patience. That was one of the words I called up this week, and I was like, you know, it's just patience. It's a big lesson for me with myself. And with everybody else, with others, you know, I've got to really remind myself about that, because we're just all doing the best we can. Yeah.
And we are where we are.
We are,
and we're not where we're not.
Exactly. And in 3.5 weeks, we're going to be in Santa Barbara. Yeah. And I'm going to get married.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love you, Toby.
Aww.
So we should maybe close with that.
Yeah.
Does that feel good? Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Make a difference with people. It'll make a difference with you.
Yeah.